to 8. The Defence Secretary has revealed the UK and allies tracked a Russian attack submarine and 2 spy submarines over critical undersea cables in the North Atlantic for a month. John Healey says a British warship and aircraft were deployed to determine line activity by Moscow, and he told reporters that despite the distraction of the Iran war, Russia remains the primary threat to UK security. Well, Charlotte Wilson is from the cybersecurity firm Checkpoint. Charlotte, thanks for joining us. How important are these undersea cables then?
So from a UK citizen, everybody in the country's perspective, very, very important. This is the internet physical backbone. So in cybersecurity worlds, we talk about patching software and hardening systems, but this is the actual cables that 99% of internet traffic works on. So think bank transfers, banking systems, WhatsApp messages, email, Google searches, things that we rely on to do our day-to-day activities run across these cables.
So were these cables to be damaged in some way, what could be the consequences?
So these cables it's not the first time they've been attacked. They can get accidentally damaged with things like anchors dragging. So they can accidentally be damaged. And actually between 2024 and 2025, about 10 were. And so that can cause disruption. If they're purposely attacked and purposely multiple were cut, we could see systems go offline. We could see inability to get access to our banking. We could see inability to send information. Companies would struggle to keep working. We're very, very digitally dependent as a society. This would be a really big problem for us.
And am I right in saying the risk here is not just that potentially a submarine or some kind of vessel could damage these cables, there's also the threat of just surveilling these cables?
Yeah, exactly that. We can't say whether they have the full capability to do this. We're not certain if the submersibles can actually tap the cables, which is effectively what they're saying they can do. Russian state TV has said that they can, but we can't prove that they can. But if they could actually start to take the information from them. And that is one of the things that would be very concerning for us.
Why would that be so concerning? What could they do with that information?
So it could mean that they could silently read the data and therefore get access to information that we wouldn't want them to have, such as financial transfers, for example, or confidential communications, and in particular things like government traffic or military communications.
And what do we know so far about these spy submarines in question?
So they have the ability to go deeper than any other submersible, so they can go down to 6,000 metres. They're equipped with tools and cameras and ability to do operations at deep sea levels. The challenge that we have is if damage is done at deep sea levels, our Western repair crews would find that very challenging to go fix it. So what people seek to do when they seek to attack us is either steal financial information, steal data, etc., but also to cause wide-scale disruption and chaos. This would come in the camp of widespread disruption and chaos.
And is the UK uniquely exposed because we are an island nation surrounded by water?
No, I think that we do work with some of our other NATO colleagues. So we do work with other people such as in the Nordic regions. So we're not uniquely positioned, but as we are completely surrounded by water, we have more attack surface. There's more areas of which you could come after us. So it does make us more attackable, but we do work together with places like Norway to build more of a combined fleet. And that was certainly what John Healey was alluding to earlier. But like I say, this isn't the first time we've seen nation-state activity onto our critical national infrastructure. The head of the MI6 talked about this as early back as December last year and even earlier. This is something that has been surveyed by our government for a long period of time. We just see the stepping up and the increased urgency around it.
And is this now a sign that cyber warfare really is here to stay and is going to become increasingly important over the years to come?
If you could see the increases in cyber warfare that we can see, we run multiple threat teams and we see a dramatic increase of cyber warfare. It is definitely part of warfare. And that's been our intelligence services have been warning about this for some time. I think we have been distracted by activities in the Middle East. But there are an awful lot of activities on much closer to home that are seeking to do damage to our critical national infrastructure in the UK.
And is Russia the primary cyber threat currently?
Russia is the one that the MI6 will talk about a lot, and they were the people that dominated the articles and the press briefings that they gave back in December. I don't think anything has dramatically changed on that. What you saw John Healey talking about this morning was the fact that he believes Russia are using the distraction of the Middle East as optimal timing to take more of a closer look onto our shores.
Charlotte, really appreciate your time this evening. Thanks for joining us. Charlotte Wilson there from the cybersecurity firm Check.